Hello there. This is a calm space designed for rest. There is nothing you need to focus on and nothing you need to remember. You can listen or simply let the sound pass by. If you fall asleep, that is perfectly fine. Allow your body to settle. Let your breathing slow and let your attention soften. We will begin now. An ancient city is shaped slowly. It is not planned all at once. Its layout develops over time, responding to land, movement, and daily needs. At the center, there is usually an open space. This space is not large. It does not draw attention. It simply exists as a point of connection. Paths extend outward from this area. They do not follow straight lines. They curve gently. Each curve slows movement. Nothing invites speed. The city does not guide people quickly from one place to another. Instead, it allows movement to unfold gradually. Buildings are placed close together. Walls face walls. Open gaps are rare. This closeness creates enclosure. Enclosure creates calm. There are no wide, empty spaces that demand attention. Everything feels contained. The layout does not encourage scanning. It encourages passing through. Movement here is quiet by default. The central area connects many paths, but it does not dominate them. No single street feels more important than another. There is no main axis. Paths overlap naturally. One becomes another without notice. As you move away from the center, the environment changes slowly. Buildings become smaller. Paths narrow. This change is gradual. It is never abrupt. There is no clear boundary between shared and private space. Instead, privacy increases step by step. Each turn removes a little more activity. Each narrowing path reduces movement. This design limits noise without walls. It limits speed without rules. The city becomes quieter simply by structure.
Streets in an ancient city are not designed to be efficient.
They are designed to exist. They curve to avoid obstacles. They follow the land rather than reshape it. Corners are soft. Angles are shallow. This prevents long sightlines. Nothing stretches far into the distance. Because of this, attention stays close. There is no reason to look ahead quickly. The next space always appears slowly. Walking here would feel unhurried. Each step feels similar to the last. The street does not change suddenly. It repeats gently. Repetition calms movement. Residential areas form naturally. Homes group together in small clusters. These clusters are not marked. They are felt. Paths narrow as they approach these areas. This signals transition without instruction. Movement becomes minimal. Passing through is uncommon. The layout discourages shortcuts. It discourages unnecessary travel. As a result, the space remains quiet. Sound fades without effort. Activity reduces without enforcement. The structure itself maintains calm. Public spaces are limited. They are placed where paths already meet. A small square, a shared well, a shaded area. These spaces do not interrupt movement. They allow pause without invitation. People pass through more often than they stay. The city does not gather attention. It releases it. At night, the layout does not change. Only activity does. Paths remain where they are. Buildings remain unchanged. What shifts is movement. Steps become rare. Sounds disappear. The same structure that supported daytime life now supports rest. Nothing needs adjustment. The city rests within its own design. The structure of the city remains the same, but the way it is experienced can change. At one moment, movement feels present. At another, it feels distant. Paths do not move. Buildings do not shift. Only perception changes. This stability allows the mind to rest. Nothing new needs to be understood. Nothing unexpected appears. The city offers the same arrangement again and again. Repetition becomes familiar. Familiarity reduces effort. Time moves differently within this layout. There are no long, straight paths that encourage quick progress. Every curve slows awareness. The city does not measure time by distance. It measures it by transition. One space leads gently to another. Because of this, time feels stretched. Moments extend naturally. There is no urgency to arrive anywhere. Movement itself becomes less important. The central space remains open. It does not pull attention. It does not hold focus. Paths touch it briefly, then move on. The space exists as a pause, not as a destination. This lack of emphasis prevents fixation. Nothing asks to be remembered. The mind does not attach. Boundaries in the city are soft. There is no sudden change from public to private. Transitions occur gradually. Each narrowing path removes a layer of activity. Each turn reduces stimulation. This softness allows the nervous system to relax without instruction. The environment does the work. Movement through the city repeats. Paths curve in similar ways. Spaces resemble one another. Differences are subtle. This repetition prevents surprise. Surprise requires attention. Without surprise, attention softens. The city becomes predictable. Predictability supports calm. Silence here is not enforced. It is produced by design. Narrow paths limit speed. Short distances limit travel. Clusters limit through movement. Nothing needs to be controlled. The layout manages activity naturally. As a result, silence feels stable. Returning along the same street feels familiar. Nothing has changed. The curve appears again. The wall remains close. The next turn arrives at the same pace. This familiarity removes curiosity. Curiosity keeps the mind active. Without it, attention loosens. The city does not insist on direction. There is no clear route to follow. Movement is optional. This lack of direction reduces decision-making. Decisions require effort. When effort fades, rest becomes possible. At deeper night, even imagined movement slows. The structure remains present without being observed. Paths exist without being used, without being filled. The city continues without participation. There is no need to imagine movement clearly. The idea of moving is enough. A path appears, not sharply, not fully. It is suggested rather than seen. The ground remains steady. The walls stay close. Nothing opens suddenly. The city does not change to accommodate movement. Movement adapts to the city. This adaptation requires no effort. Each step feels similar to the last. There is no variation that demands attention. The surface remains consistent. The distance between turns remains familiar. Repetition replaces novelty. Novelty requires alertness. Repetition allows release. The body understands this rhythm without being instructed. Details begin to soften. Edges lose importance. The exact shape of walls no longer matters. What remains is the sense of enclosure. Enclosure signals safety. Safety allows the mind to reduce monitoring. Direction becomes less clear,
not because paths disappear,
but because choosing a direction
is no longer necessary.
Any path would feel the same. This sameness removes pressure. There is nothing to select. Without selection, the mind rests. The central space appears again. It feels familiar. There is no need to pause. Passing through happens naturally. The space does not ask to be acknowledged. It remains open, without demand. Time no longer feels measured. There is no beginning to mark, no ending to reach. Moments blend together. The city does not move forward. It remains. This stillness is uninterrupted. Paths feel identical, not because they are, but because differences no longer register. Attention no longer scans. Scanning requires effort. Without effort, perception becomes wide and unfocused. Walls remain close enough to be felt, not close enough
to restrict.
This balance prevents openness from becoming exposure. The city holds space gently. There is no sound to interpret. Silence is complete, but not empty. It is filled with absence. Absence does not stimulate. It allows rest. Movement becomes optional. Remaining still feels the same as moving. Nothing changes either way. The city continues without response. There is no need to continue imagining movement. The structure is already known. Nothing new will appear. Paths remain where they are. Walls remain where they are. The city does not change. Because of this, attention does not need to stay active. It can rest. The environment no longer asks to be observed. Edges soften further. The idea of space remains without form. This absence of form does not create uncertainty. It creates ease. Thoughts may still appear. They do not need direction. They pass without structure. Nothing holds them. The city does not respond to thought. It remains unchanged. Without response, thought loses importance. There is no sense of before or after. Moments do not connect in sequence.
They exist independently.
The city does not move forward. It does not move backward. It simply remains. Remaining still feels natural. There is no contrast between stillness and motion. Both are equally unimportant. The environment supports this balance. Without effort, there is no clear inside or outside, no center, no edge. The layout exists without being mapped, without requiring awareness. The same sense of space returns again and again. Nothing changes between repetitions. This sameness removes expectation. Without expectation, there is no need to stay awake. There is nothing left to follow, no path to imagine, no space to observe. The city holds itself. You do not need to hold anything. The structure remains. Nothing needs to change. You don't need to follow anything. You don't need to hold any thought. Everything continues quietly, exactly as it is. And as it remains, there is nothing else that needs to happen.